kickingly defeated. That's what it takes to earn success. You see, but that doesn't make for exciting infomercials and riveting movies and books that people want to buy. But the real process, the first thing I want to try to communicate to you here is, I want you to stop looking for the quick fix. Stop believing there's some secret formula, that there's some sort of 10-point strategy plan. Stop looking for the quick fix for your success, happiness, and wealth. It will only be through a gauntlet of hard freaking work to get to the other side. You see, success is earned one day at a time. Every single day is a new challenge of whether you succeed or fail. It is one step at a time. Every time you lift your head up off the pillow and you start walking through your day, you are either walking towards success or you are walking towards failure. It is one decision at a time. You make hundreds of decisions throughout the day. Every decision is like a chisel mark on a slab of granite. And at the end of the day, based on the decisions that you make, you're either going to end up with a pile of rubble or you're going to end up with a magnificent David. It is also one phone call at a time. You know that phone call you don't want to make? The follow-up you don't want to do? The three-way call that you're intimidated to make? Every one of those are a defining factor to your success. And it's one meeting at a time. Those meetings that you have to do, for crying out loud, another meeting, every one of those is a defining factor. Think of the people who could have been here, who should have been here, but they decided not to come. That's going to change their financial future forever. Every single decision about every phone call and meeting. And ultimately, you can never see these successful people down here. These are the ones that have achieved great things here at Fusion. This is my warning to you. You never own success. You only rent it. And the rent is due every single day. So, let me ask all of you, how many people have ever been to a personal development seminar, or you read a personal development book, or listened to an audio program, and the book or the audio program or the seminar promised transformational results in 90 days or less, and at the end of 90 days, you did not experience transformational results? Did anybody else have that experience besides me? Let me see your hand. So what happened? Why didn't it work? Why didn't the seminar work, the book work, the audio program work? Here's why. Success in life is not about what you know. Knowledge is not success. The fact that you are here today and you are learning this information will not make you successful. It is only what you do with what you know. So your success will be determined based on when you go back home, whether you take what you have learned here today and start applying it to your fusion business, applying it to your diet and your relationships that you have with your spouse and your kids. It's not knowledge, it's the doing of the knowledge. You see, there are a lot of broke geniuses in our society. People who know a lot of stuff, but they're broke, or they're fat, or they suffer heart attacks, or they get divorced. So it's not knowledge. In the United States, our own doctors, 44% of them are medically obese. These are the ones that are telling people that poor diet and lack of exercise will kill them, and yet themselves are medically obese. Or as the philosopher Morpheus said, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So what I don't want to have happen when I present to you these fundamental principles of success, what I don't want to have happen inside your head is for you to say, oh, I already know that. Instead, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, am I doing that? Because you might know it. You might know it. You might be wonderfully intelligent, but you ain't doing it. The second question is have I mastered it? In tweak of the dial, that last little number that you need to open the lock so that the floodgates of your potential pour out. And the third most important question is, would my results prove that I have mastered that? Would my waistline prove that I have mastered these principles of success? Would my bank account prove? Would the intimacy in the relationship of my marriage prove? Would the size of my fusion business prove that I've mastered these fundamentals of success? And if the answer is no, then you have a lot here yet to learn. One of my favorite quotes of all is, we often need to be reminded more than we need to be instructed. So what I'm trying to do here today is to take some of the things that you know that are in the back of your mind, that have been cluttered with all the other crap that you have been feeding your head, and we want to clear the crap, take what you know that is core and fundamental from the back of your head, put it in the front of your head, and then lay out a simple, clear stepping stone pathway that if you just put one foot in front of the other, you will find yourself on the other side of the success that you seek. That's what we're after here. I want to give you the success operating system. Okay? This operating system is underneath whatever you want to build on top of it, but it's under everything. It's under your diet, under your relationships. It's under your communication, it's under your leadership. It's kind of like this. You can take the world's best software, tens of millions of dollars have gone into the design and engineering of it, but if you install that software on a computer that has a faulty operating system, what happens? It's buggy, it crashes, it doesn't operate. Now the user can make the mistake of saying, oh, that crappy software doesn't work. No, it was just installed on a crappy operating system. The software is fine. That's what happened when you went to that seminar, read that book, listened to that audio, and you said that crappy book didn't work. No, it was just installed on a crappy operating system, meaning you. So, what we want to do here is rewire your operating system. If we can rewire your operating system and bring it up to world-class standards, then, and only then, can we install the fusion business building software, the leadership software, the persuasive communication software, the parenting software, right? Then, finally, those books and those seminars and that knowledge will work to its full capacity because we have your operating system of world-class. That's the business that we're up to here today. So here's my goal. I want to help you design a system that will enable you to achieve goals that you were too afraid to set when you walked into this auditorium today. Now, why would you be too afraid to set the kind of goals that you're really capable of, but you don't want to declare these goals? I think it's because if you don't see how you can do it, then they just sort of seem fantastical. They seem a little ridiculous or silly. But I believe that if I just show you the way, a simple plan of action, it'll embolden you to set the kind of goals that's actually equal to the potential that you have inside. And my ultimate goal is, after taking this crazy adventure to get here with you today, this is what I want in return. A year, 2, 3 years from now, I want you to become completely unrecognizable to the person sitting in your chair right now. I want you to be unrecognizable. Unrecognizable to your spouse. Unrecognizable to your parents. Unrecognizable to the people on your Instagram feed. And most importantly, I want you to be unrecognizable to your banker because of having applied these principles and ignited the compound effects and results in your life. That's what we're after here. So, what I want to do is, code line by code line, we're going to rewire your operating system between where you are and where you want to be. Whatever your goal is. It doesn't matter what your goal is. You want to buy a new home for your parents? You want to get to the top of the compensation plan here at Fusion? You want to donate a significant amount of money to the charity of your choice? Whatever is over there. We will code line by code line rewire this operating system, give you the stepping pathway to get there. Because you have the potential inside, you just need direction. That's what we will give you here today. Now, let's start where it all begins. What's the root control factor for all the results in your life? The one thing that determines your entire destiny. There's only one thing. Your success comes down to one thing. Because here's the reality. We all come into this life exactly the same. Do you realize that? I don't care whether you're born in Ecuador, or Peru, or the United States, or India, or China. We all come in exactly the same. Naked, scared, and ignorant. I mean, some of us a little uglier than others. True, you saw my baby photo. This did not start out very pretty. But after that grand entrance, there's only one thing that will determine your entire life. Only one thing is going to determine your entire destiny. One thing will determine whether you end up living here or whether you end up living here. There's only one thing. Only one thing will determine whether you end up driving this or whether you end up driving this. One thing will determine whether at the end of a long life you end up lonely, broke, and despondent, or you end up in a marriage of incredible bliss and intimacy. Only one thing will determine whether you get to send your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids to the greatest universities in the world. Or, no matter what they qualify for, they can't go because you can't afford to send them. Only one thing will determine whether you get to donate to your charity to your greatest heart's content, or whether you get to travel the world in 5-star luxury. No matter where you go 5-star. Only one thing. If you saw the movie City Slickers, Curly said life comes down to one thing. What's that one thing? Well, it's a damn good thing I came here today. Wow! You're saying your whole life, everything you're doing is coming down to one thing, you're not sure what that is. Here's what it is. It all comes down to choices. You see, right there, as you sit here today, your whole life, after you became naked, scared, and ignorant, is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you made. Do you realize that? Do you realize that right now, your waistline is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you've made up to this moment? Your bank account is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you've made up to this point. The relationships in your life, the size of your business, is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you've made up to this moment. So if we're going to change the trajectory of your life here today, we've got to start where it all begins, and it all begins with choices. Choices is the first line of code in rewiring your operating system. Now, you're probably asking, what choices? Because we're presented with hundreds of choices a day, and a lot of people get this wrong. They think it's one choice instead of another. Well, let me present this scenario. How many people here have ever been bitten by an elephant? How many people have ever been bitten by a mosquito? You see, life provides clues. It's the little things in life that will bite you. Do you realize that this is man's greatest predator? The greatest threat to mankind is not a lion or a gorilla, it is a mosquito. Could eliminate the human population. You see, it is also the small choices that you make in life that can kill your success. A question that I get asked all the time, there's 7.7 billion people on the planet now, and I was asked, what did the 12 people every year that we put on the cover of Success magazine, what did they do differently than everybody else? How did they create their extraordinary success, rising from obscurity? Would you like to know what the answer is? Okay, well, let me tell you what the answer is not first. Because this is what people think they did to create their extraordinary success. Success is not a result of heroic feats. We did not present one hero on the cover of Success magazine. They did nothing heroic. Success is also not a grand act of bravery. We have this idiotic idea in America that you should just leap and then grow wings on the way down. What? You go splat. None of the great achievers of our society did anything brave. It is also not some quantum leap of overnight success. Right place, right time, lucky timing. No, not the people that we've seen. So none of those are the answers to how how they got there and how you can achieve your great success. Here is the answer about how they got to the cover and how you can achieve anything that your heart desires. Success is the result of small, seemingly insignificant, moment-to-moment choices. You see, people have a hard time with that. They don't know how to get their head around that. Huh? That's how they create fantastic wealth and yachts and homes all over the world? Yes. You see, small choices like you go to a restaurant and they present you with the menu. What's a menu? It's just a list of choices, right? So with that list of choices, do you pick the hamburger and fries, or do you pick the salad? Now you're going, well, that doesn't seem like a major success cover worthy choice. I'm telling you, it is. Small, seemingly insignificant choices, like at the end of a long day, you're tired, you're exhausted, you just want to go home. Do you go to the gym and put in a workout even though you don't feel like it? Or do you rush home to catch your favorite sitcom or novella and watch other people living out their dreams? Small little choices like in the heat of an argument, do you just turn away and say, I don't want to talk about this anymore? Or do you decide to turn around, say you're sorry, and choose to make a moment of magic, even if it wasn't your fault? Small little choices like in a networking event, do you walk across the room and introduce yourself to that person you've always wanted to meet, but have been too afraid to do so? Or do you hunker down in fear one more time? Small choices like at the end of a long, hard day. Do you make a few more calls than you promised to make, or do you just call it a day? You see, these small choices add up to big, huge differences in results. Let me see if I can try to translate this for you in real, tangible means here. Let's say we have two friends, and we're going to make two offers to these two friends. And the first offer is, you work 30 minutes a day, that's it, super part-time, 30 minutes a day, and we'll pay you $10 a week. And if you improve your skills week over week, we'll give you a 10% raise each week, compounded. The second offer is 30 minutes a day, super part-time, and you're going to get a guaranteed monthly income of $5,000 a month, and you don't have to make any improvement whatsoever. Just guaranteed $5,000 every single month, no matter how you perform. Now, given those two offers, how many people pick offer one? Okay, how many people pick offer two? $5,000 guaranteed. Okay, let's just see how this works out, okay? Some of you ain't getting any money because you didn't raise your hand. Okay, so after the first month, friend number one, who picked the $10 a week, has only made $51. His friend got a check for $5,000. And so friend is thinking, huh? I made 1% the amount of money my friend made. My friend made 99% more money after a month of work. He's starting to doubt his choice. After the second month, now he's only made a small amount, $200 some odd, and now he's thinking, what? All this work, all this improvement, my buddy's just sloughing off, and the buddy is saying, ha 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 ha, you should have made a different choice. After the third month, now your family starts to say, quit this. What are you doing? You're spending all this time, you're putting in all this effort, and you're not making anything. And look at your friend. They've already made $15,000 against your several hundred. Now we get, and a friend agrees with your family, by the way, yes, you should quit. In the next month, now, you can see, at the end of a whole year, offer number one has only made $15,000. Less than if they had been a part-time barista at Starbucks. And now they're saying, see, I told you so. And your friend is saying, wow, sorry about it, buddy. a full year, you finally make the same amount of money that your friend is making. And your family says, well, it's about damn time. And your friend says, yeah, whatever. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The next month, you make $40,000 on offer one. And your family goes, whoa, what is it that you're doing here? Is it legal? And your friend says, I don't understand what just happened there. The next month, you make $60,000 and nobody says anything now. Everybody is stunned into silence. And at the end of the second year, friend number one has made $2 million against the paltry 120 that friend number two made. Now here's what I want you to understand. That small 10% improvement at the end of that first month, it's the same small 10% improvement at the end of the 24th month. It's the small behavior. It's the little itty-bitty actions that were being made during month one are the same itty-bitty little actions that are being made on the 24th month. But the difference between the accumulating compound effect of those small improvements massively multiplies the results in offer number one versus offer number two. And I have just described to you your entire business model. This is the epitome of the compound effect opportunity at your feet. That's when your friend said, your family says, I knew you could do it. And your friend regrets, I wish I had made a different choice. By the way, I see a lot of you taking photos of the slides. Would you just like to get a copy of all these slides?